Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to World of Tanks. Here, garage review of the T-34, 1940, 41, and 42 variants. So yes, the T-34 that you see on here is a T-34/76, 1942, and the T-34 that you see here is a T-34/57. 1942 a variant, and no. Well, you know what? Why not? I have got credits, and then if we get, I think it's the L11. Yes, here we go. And this T-34 is the T-34/76 1940 variant, with the different turret and the terrible L11 gun. And I cannot fit the 76 slash. I cannot create a T-34/76 1941 variant because this turret doesn't mount the 76S54. It will instead hold the F-34, however I don't want to do that right now. So let me put it back to how it is in complete form. It's now in its final form, one of its two final forms depending on your choosing. Let me load up the ammunition. So, the T-34 is a Tier 5 Russian regular tech tree bought medium tank, and I had this. I think I managed to research it back when I was on Windows XP, playing the game at 4 frames per second, and I managed to gather up this thing. Oh, hello, the flags. The flags actually say things. The two different teams. Got that one and the Hellraisers. Yep. Yeah. And the 2016 Grand Finals. So yes, this is the Grand Final hangar, in case you didn't watch the Churchill 3 review. So this vehicle is, well, I'm just not very good at playing it, but I'm sure it is competent in the hands of a good player. So it is Tier 5 medium, so of course 450 hit points, which is pretty standard among Tier 5 mediums. Sherman 3 does have one of the highest amount of hit points of a regular tech tree medium tank with 460. 465 even, 460 for the M4, I know that, 450 for the T-34. You know, things like the Matilda 4, the Black Prince, the Panzer T-25, things like that are damn it, phone, stop vibrating. Things like that have got 610 hit points. And then just to compare it to the Type 3 Chinukai, which has got 480 hit points, but once again that is a premium vehicle, so it does have slightly more hit points than the average. So the hit points are pretty standard. It's not, you know, a really decent amount of hit points because it's only Tier 5 medium, so you do have to be careful. However, it is enough. The T-34 in this current setup weighs 29.63 tons with a 31.3 load limit with the top suspension, which means it also has a 500 horsepower engine in its upgraded form. Sorry, I'll stop looking at my mobile telephonic device. Which is a V234, not my mobile telephonic device, but the engine. The engine is a V-2-34, 500 horsepower, chance of fire on impact 15%, which is a 20 horsepower improvement over the V2 engine. And because it only weighs really 30 tons and 500 horsepower is enough really for the T-34 to get going, it has a 16.84 horsepower per ton ratio, which is alright for a Tier 5 medium. which means it goes at 56 kilometers an hour top speed with a 40 degrees per second turret traverse. And that explosion is really annoying because usually your tank is set like this around when you actually when you actually log into the game or exit from a battle, so you like that, which means that it's white writing on a white center of the explosion. It's difficult to read, which means I have to do that. But then you've got the tracer from the goddamn Death Star and Batchat over here, which is still 40 degrees per second hull traverse, which is pretty good. It's very good, really, and 56 kilometers an hour is very fast, so it's a pretty fast and maneuverable medium tank. However, the hull armor is only 45, 45, 40, which is really not very good. It is sloped, however, which means that you will be able to bounce some shots at sloping. However, I would say 45, tier 5, it's probably not going to help you even with angling and the sloping. Then again, the sloping is pretty good. It's like a 45, I think, degrees slope all around. So, yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe it's because I'm just over-angling, perhaps. But I haven't really been able to get the armor to work. I've managed to get the armor to work on the T-34-85M, which is almost the same. However, the 34-85M has got 75mm at the front instead of the standard 45. So, yeah, it's 45 but sloped. And as for the turret, 52, 52, 45. As for the stock turret, 45 all around. So, yeah. However, the problem with the 1942 turret, here it is, T-34 mod 1942, is that it has got the round commander's cupola on the top, which does make it slightly more of a weak spot. However, really, 52mm at the front of the turret is not really going to help you anyway. So even if the commander's cupola is a weak spot, the whole turret is really a weak spot. So yeah, but then again, 52 more than the 45, but then again, the sloping not that great. So make of that what you will. And moving on to the guns, you do have a pretty good selection of guns, at least when it's upgraded. The stock gun, the 76mm L11, really is terrible. 12.24 rounds per minute, which is not really that fast, only has 68mm of average penetration with 75 penetration with APCR, 38 with high explosive, 110 damage across the board, which is all right. That's decent damage for tier 5, and 156 with high explosive. Terrible accuracy, terrible aiming time, weighs 660 kilograms, compatible with this and the A20. The A20 is horrible. I went through it to get to this tank, so yeah, the A20 really was horrible. So yeah, that's enough of that gun. Do not bother using that. The next one that you have is the 76mm F-34, which is a improvement over the L11, however, not really that much. Compatible with the T-34, A-43 and A-44, so you will be stuck with a T-34 with that gun. And playing a T-34 stock with this gun is not very fun, because none of these other guns that you have, you unlock on the T-34. Then again, depending on which tank you go through, I went through the A20, so I was stuck with the 76 L11. However, if you went through the T28, they're both horrible tanks to have to grind through, but if you went with the T28, you will have the 57 ZIS-4 already unlocked, so you can slap that on straight away to give you a little bit more of an edge than the terrible, terrible 76 L11. But if you went through the A20 or the other one, I think 3 tanks lead to the T-34, so yeah, you've got the T-80, T-50 and A-20. So the T-28 you can't even get to go to the T-34. Then again, if you've already researched the T-28 on a different line and you then head back to go to the T-34, then you will have it unlocked anyway. But however, travelling through the A-20, T-50 or T-80 directly, you won't have that gun unlocked, and you will be stuck playing with the terrible 76 L11. So anyway, that's enough of the terribleness of the L11 and the grind up to the T-34. we now have the 76mm F-34, 15.79 rounds per minute, 76mm, so rate of fire has been improved. Penetration still pretty terrible, 86, which is really not that good, 102 with APCR, 38 still with high explosive. It is, after all, still only a 76mm gun, so the penetration for APCR, for high explosive will not change. 110 damage across the board again, which is alright. 156 with high explosive, yeah. Slightly better dispersion, 0.46, and pretty standard, alright, aiming time of 2.3 seconds. So, once you've managed to last long enough to get through that, then you now have a choice of two guns, the 76mm S-34 and the 57mm ZIS-4. And if we go over both of the guns here, you will see the differences. And I'll leave it up to you to decide, because they're both decent enough guns to use, depending on your equipment and your playstyle. So, obviously, one's a 57, one's a 76, so they're both different calibers. And because they're both different calibers, they have different rates of fire. The 57mm does have a very, very good rate of fire, 26.09, which is the same as things like the 6-pounder, for example. And also things like the 76 on the Sherman 3, I'm fairly certain. 5-second reload time. Maybe not. Oh no, because that's a 76. Duh. Well, that was a mistake by me, but yes, so this 57 does have a vastly superior rate of fire compared to the 10.53 of the 76mm S-54 gun. However, the penetrations are different. The 57mm ZIS-4, even though the ZIS-4 was the anti-tank gun, has got less penetration, 112 compared to 125 with AP. However, with APCR, it has got better penetration, 189 compared to 156. 29mm of penetration with high explosive compared to 39. It has got worse damage because it's a smaller shell, 85 with AP and APCR compared to 115 with armor piercing. For some reason, 110 with APCR, so you're losing 5 damage on average, so I don't know. And 95 compared to 165 with high explosive, then again it's high explosive. However, this is where your playstyle and if you can bear the bad with the good of the guns comes into effect, because the 57mm does have vastly superior dispersion and aiming time, 0.34 and 2.3. 0.34 is very, very good dispersion, and 2.3 seconds aiming time is not that bad. However, the 76.41 dispersion is pretty bad, and 2.9 seconds aiming time is an age. The 57 also weighs roughly half of what the 76 weighs, so it's up to you as to how you play this tank. You either play it with the 76 as a regular medium, or you play it with the ZIS as being a popping in and out of cover, constantly moving around using your rate of fire to put multiple shots into enemies whilst they're engaged from the front. So it depends on how you want to play your T-34. And because I don't have a 100% crew, my T-34 does not reload at a very good rate at all. 5.46 reload time with a 76 pretty much percent crew. So yeah, it's up to you. 49 degrees per second turret diverse, which is very, very good. That's very fast. Radio range is something to be desired, really. 525 meters, 350 view range, which is standard. Holds 70 rounds of AP for the 76 gun. As to how much it holds for the 57, let me see. Holds 77 for the 57, so you're not really gaining that much ammunition if you use the 57, so yeah. You have pretty much the same ammo loadout. So yeah, that's the basic stats here. As for your consumables, there's your regular consumables, and if you're wondering why I don't have 100% crew yet if I got it, many years ago when I was still playing 4 frames per second on Windows XP. It's because I sold it, because I wasn't very good and I didn't particularly want it and I needed the garage slot. However, when I was doing the 3485M review, I really wanted to wait until I had the regular T3485 to compare it to. However, I got a good game in the 3485M, and so I just decided, you know what, let's do it now. We'll just have to compare it with it in the tech tree. So yeah, I'm still going to research to the 3485M, maybe to the SU85 as well. Depends. But yeah, so that's why I don't have 100% crew yet. And so yeah, you've got your regular consumables. As for your equipment loadout, if you're using the 76, you'll definitely want gun rammer and enhanced gun lane drive before you think of anything else to put on it. Enhanced suspension, you could do. You're a pretty fast and maneuverable medium tank. You certainly could go with enhanced suspension. And as for camo net, and the same goes with binos as well, it depends on if you're using the 76 or the 57. If you're using the 57, you do have the accuracy and dispersion, well, that's the same thing, aim time, to be a sniper. So camo net and binos will not be a bad idea on the 76mm T-34. Sorry, the 57 T-34. If you're using the 76, though, you don't really have the accuracy or the aim time to spare being a sniper. So don't go with camo net and binos if you're using the 76. Improved vents are always useful. Get that reload time down on both guns, in fact. Wet ammo rack if you keep getting your ammo rack damaged. Spore liner? No, not really. No, you have terrible armor. Don't bother with it. It's a waste of a slot. Gun rammer, always useful. Binos I've gone over. Coated optics, always useful. Plus 50% to engine durability. If your engine keeps getting damaged, then you could do. Gun lane drive I've gone over. And toolbox is always a useful thing to have if you can't think of a third equipment slot to use up. Now, you do have a crew of 4. You have got the commander/gunner, so yeah. Because he's the commander/gunner, you're going to have to choose what you want. So 6th sense is always useful. Designate target, if you're using the 57, that's probably the same as getting one more shot off. If you're using the 76, probably won't play as big a role, but still, you could go with designate target. Armourer improves accuracy of damaged gun. Once again, depends on your gun selection. If you're using the 57, it will definitely help. If your gun gets damaged, then you don't have to worry about using a repair kit, because you will still have pretty good accuracy. If you're using the 76, don't bother really with armourer. Deadeye, always useful on both guns, because 57, you're firing off lots of shots. It's like the 6-pounder, so you'll be firing off lots and lots of shots, which means lots and lots of module damage. Snapshot, improve accuracy during turret rotation. Yeah, you certainly could do that. Eagle Eye, always useful. Jack of all trades if you want. Recon is always useful as well. Mentor, I don't really see the point in, and you've got your common skills. I didn't want to switch to the Churchill 3. So that's your commander/gunner. Now, for your driver, I think off-road driving will be the first thing that you'll want to do, because you do have a pretty good traverse speed for your hull already. So clutch braking, you may want to hold off on. Preventative maintenance, if you keep getting your engine damaged, then sure, go with that, and you keep getting set on fire. Smooth ride, improve accuracy whilst firing on the move. Once again, gun selection is a big factor in this. If you are using the 76, you have got terrible accuracy anyway, so smooth ride won't make a difference. 57 may make a difference, however, 76 definitely not. Off-road driving, once again, definitely go with that. Controlled impact, you could be ramming things. You're a T-34. After all, Company of Heroes 2, there is actually a special thing for the T-34s where they will just ram into enemy vehicles, so that's a thing. So you may want to go with controlled impact for historical accuracy. Then you've got your common skills for your driver. Moving on to your radio operator, you will want to choose signal boosting or situational awareness, depending on what you want. Then relay, after you've got signal boosting, and call for vengeance if you want. Then you've got your common skills. And finally, your loader. So, safe stowage. If your Emirate keeps getting damaged, then sure, go with that. Adrenaline Rush, always useful. Intuition, depends on if you're switching between AP and APCR. I could see APCR being used perhaps for the 76, not the 76, 57 even, because the 57 does have 112 penetration, but yet 112, it's alright. It's not as much as the 76, so people may be carrying around a stock of APCR for the 57, so once again, depending on which gun you use, intuition is up to you. Then you've got your common skills. So the T-34 really is a very good all-round medium tank. It has got the gun selection, which is always nice, so that you do have a choice of various guns, which is a nice thing to see. Then. And it's got the speed and maneuverability to really play it how you want. You can play it as a sniper, as a brawler, as a flanker, really up to you. So, yes, this was the T-34. So I will thank you for watching, and goodbye.